Hello?
You said go. All the runners are past the first bend now, and you're still on the book and blocks. Drop the button there. Come on, have it.
Right. Let's do it. Salutations, pod lovers. Welcome to another.
Oh no!
Welcome to another. Fucking shut the fuck up! Will you let me say something?
Go on.
Welcome to another See You Next Thursday podcast. It certainly has been an ion since the last one, and I bet you thought you'd never hear from us again. No such luck. We're back once again to fill your ears with complete drivel. We have a decorated team of panelists today. None of them are knowledgeable, stimulating, offer any major insight, but they're free. Put your hands together for Billy, Ed025, who recently met Liverpool legend John Aldridge in a pub, and Aldo hasn't been seen since. We have Tristan, Ed001, who will never be seen in a pub, as it would mean him having to leave his flat and speak to people. Last but not least, we have Dipindra from the Man United site. I'm delighted Dipindra is with us today, as we pride ourselves on our cosmopolitanism, and Deeps is from Nepal. I'm not saying he's a Sherpa, but I'm sure he's going to carry this podcast with his footballing wisdom and insight. Hello, Dipindra. Thank you for gracing us with your presence. And lads, how are we?
I'm good, thanks.
How are we, lads?
I think you've done well.
I'm proud of Abby. Come on.
Hey, listen, do you like the metaphor? One minute, wait. Deeps, did you like the metaphor? I thought it was quite funny.
It was good, yeah, I enjoyed that.
Thank you. Thank
I
appreciate it.
You nailed it.
Thank you, my friend. You can come again. Right.
I'll give you
anyway?
Listen, Chris, I'm giving him 5 minutes, and then he's gonna say you're never allowed back here.
Oh, mate, don't worry about it. Me and we may be free, but me and Billy have a vote, mate. So you'll be okay.
I did well. In fact, mostly work, but it didn't at the start, so I'm backing myself here. Right, come on, we're going to get on some topics.
Shall we talk football, lads?
Yes.
All right. Guys, I want to start by saying best wishes to Cardiff City Sol Bamba, who's just started his chemotherapy in his fight against cancer. So good luck, Sol.
Yeah, good luck.
Speedy recovery.
Yeah. All right. Okay, lads, the question on everyone's minds. No, not how Manchester United are top of the league, but should football even be played in the midst of a horrific pandemic, which is taking its toll on the world economically and emotionally?
Well, if I can speak on that first, I think it's a hope that everyone's clinging on to. It helps people. It gets people through the day. Especially, it's the biggest sport in the world, and it's a good thing to be played, in my opinion. I think it focuses people's mind on something else rather than the pandemic, and I think it's doing a good job.
I say stop the count.
Of course.
I say stop the count.
Oh, you won't get the title, mate. Has there been half the games played? let's not make this about Liverpool, Man United, because that's next, and Everton. So let's
No,
talk about the
but
pandemic.
I completely agree with Billy.
Yeah, I think so, Trish. Yeah,
I'm one of those Tris. Like
Sorry, Deeps.
as I've said,
he's
talked with
one
you
of them.
before. I'm one of them. The only thing that I have to look forward to nowadays is football.
Mate, if you ever need to talk, I'm here. Mate, if you ever need to
No,
talk,
what
I'm
I'm
here for
saying
you.
is the only activity that is going on is football.
Yeah, I'm with you, Deeps. Yeah. How
Can
about
you
you, Abby?
imagine
What do you
how,
think?
mate? Honestly, I want to sit on. I want to play devil's advocate a little bit on this one because I think I hear what you guys are saying, but why are we being a little bit selfish by putting footballers and people around the footballers, their families, at risk for our entertainment? Surely they should be the same. They should be treated the same as the rest of society, and they're not just performing monkeys for our pleasure in a pandemic. I mean, I know that they don't exactly adhere to the rules as a collective, but I'm just of the opinion that if something is a directive is handed down on a health basis, it should be for the whole nation and not just the selected few. I can understand that the doctors and the nurses and frontline people they have an obligation in that sense, a professional one, but I'm not so sure that football and sport is a essential business.
Well, I disagree with you there, to be honest with you, because I
Okay,
think
mate.
that the more entertainment that people get, whether it be the television, whether it be newscasts, whether it be podcasts or entertainment in general, I think you've got to give people something to look forward to, because there's a lot of mental illness going around at the moment, and
Yeah.
people are worried and they need an outlet. And an outlet for me and for a lot of people that I know is football. And I think it really helps people. And I think I know you could be described as frontline. They're going out and playing and they are putting themselves at risk. But they are better tested. They have clubs who will look after them. There's tests every week, twice a week for them. And I think unless it gets really out of control with footballers, I think it should carry on. But that's just my opinion, Corey.
Yeah, I hear you, pal. I hear you. Go on, man.
No. I think a lot of them are, Trust. I think a lot of them are. You get the old ones, like in society. Yeah, yeah, I can see that. I can see that, Trish. They do like that sort of life.
Bill, do you want to? Bill,
Yeah.
I hear what you're saying about them being they're fit and healthy and their immune systems are resolute, but you still get lingering like the long COVID. You know what I mean? Some like Trent's had it. Trent's had COVID and he's not been over it. He's still suffering for it. He's still having what's the legacy of COVID. So I know what you're saying. The majority of them will get over it, but then what about when they introduce it to their families? Surely that then it's not their families. They don't have the strong immune system or the what you're talking about. So I'm just, and I understand where you're coming from, that they have a somewhat of a obligation to entertain the country because of in regard to what job they do. But I'm not sure. I'm 50-50 on this one. Whether ethically, whether I agree to football being played still, and I understand what you're saying about having that. There's a lot of people with mental health issues, and the country needs to be stimulated in the time of a pandemic. I get that, but I think it's a little bit unfair, to be honest, to have them play.
But listen, yeah, but listen, I'll give you an example. Aston Villa are playing,
Okay,
Grealish is playing. Still, there are images of him throwing a party, having friends, family, maybe strangers
yeah.
around. Just imagine if
Yeah.
he doesn't have to even train and look after himself, how much can it escalate for him?
Yeah, no, I agree with you, pal. But
Just but
I
few.
don't know. I'm not privy
I
to
think they should
the.
find a way to do things slightly better, slightly safer. But people, people who are, yeah,
They might also go out partying if they can't play football. If they're not concentrating on the football, and that'd spread it even worse. Yeah, 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 maybe.
yeah, and also most of the time it hasn't appeared that someone who has got the virus has spread it to other players. It's generally been outside of the football, outside of the footballing bubble
Yeah.
that they've gotten this.
Hmm.
Yeah, and Sam Allardyce was a circuit breaker after coming on. Why did you come on? Because he wants to work with the players, maybe organize them in the way he wants and everything. I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but I don't see the point in stopping it
Where
right
have you
now.
been the last few months? Where'd you get? He speaks quite good. This fella's quite good. Good point, Sid. I'm not patronising, man. That's a great point. I didn't think of it like that. That he wants to be. Yeah, that's a great point. Of course, Sam Allardyce wants to. He needs 2 weeks with his players.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and another observation. Maybe it's just me being naive and not seeing things, but another observation I've had is, Ma- I'm sorry to bring it up, but Manchester United have had very less outbreaks, less cases than other clubs, and there is one parallel with this. Our players, however
Yeah, but
good or bad they have been, they aren't of the type that have been caught good doing parties and everything, even before this or pandemic situation. They have their other issues, but being too outwardly and too outgoing wasn't their issue, and we as a club have suffered a little less. No, what I'm saying is people aren't breaking the bubble.
yeah, but
No, I'm
he
saying
might
there
be
are
doing the
they,
right.
they yeah. Yeah, but what I'm saying is they aren't breaking the bubble. They aren't breaking the bubble just willy nilly. It seems so.
Well,
It seems so.
and Rash
Touch
and
wood,
Rashford might
touch
be.
wood, it doesn't change.
Yeah, but Rashford might be using the right guidelines when he goes out,
Yeah, that is what I'm
regular
saying.
guidelines. So.
Yeah, but we haven't had any injuries. Yeah. Yeah, and the club isn't happy with Pelestri as well for announcing it himself and everything. Yeah, you have a point there.
Let's talk. Well, let's make positive test, but not hard. Johnny Boy. Yeah, well, talking about Manchester United or other clubs may be hiding positive COVID tests, but one club that's definitely not hiding is Celtic with their Johnny Boys outing camp in Dubai.
You're totally right, Robert. You're totally right. And they've been a disgrace as a club. All the players. That what they done there and what's being highlighted was just out of order for any club to do. So, as you say, go on a Jolly Boys outing. And there's pictures of them, and they're not socially distanced, and they weren't building the rules or nothing. And I thought, I'm a big fan of Celtic. I think they're a good club, but on this matter, they've been a disgrace, to be honest with you. No, no. And they're lying next to each other on some bets. Yeah, totally out of order. Yeah, to shut up, Chris.
Well,
To shut up.
They pissed Nicola Sturgeon off as well. I didn't want to piss her off.
No. No.
Yeah. I mean, what do you do? I mean, in that situation, because didn't they oblige Hibs to cancel their game as well, so they could go on this
They did.
training camp.
Yeah,
What would you
Celtic
do?
wanted to postpone the game. Hibs didn't want to postpone the game, but the Scottish Premier League still postponed the game to allow them to go to Dubai.
Guys, what is the punishment? I mean, how would you punish them? How would you? How many points are they behind?
Yeah.
So even if they win their 3 games in hand, they're about 13 points behind. So do you think a points deduction is fair?
Wrong.
Whatever.
Now, the only thing I'll say about this is that if clubs have contracted the virus and they can't play. The same happened with Manchester City, done it with Everton, postponed the game. Now, there's got to be accountability, and Everton were asking for that. Transparency on who's got it and why they can't play and how they've got it. And otherwise, you've got to say, give the points to the team, I'm afraid. Yeah. Yeah, that's why I'm asking for transparency, because we all know for a fact that some people, some clubs will actually take advantage of that by postponing the games when they've got players injured and saying, "Oh, we've got to cancel because of COVID." And we all know the types of people we're talking about here, and you know, if you're going to have, you've got to have transparency. That's what I was saying, transparency, because otherwise it's going to become a farce. Yeah. Yeah. I don't think that's right. No, I don't think that's right.
What they should have done is, after they found out that Villa had an outbreak, they should have notified Fulham that there is a chance that that game might be postponed, and the game that involving you and Tottenham was postponed. Maybe we have to rearrange it now. I don't think it's rocket science.
It's a difficult one, that, you know, because, as I say, unless clubs are honest and come forward and say that they've got the problem, there's got to be some accountability. Otherwise, you're going to have people taking advantage. That's all I'm saying, is that it's got to be transparency, and there's got to be people tested at the clubs. How many, and there should be a count of how many have actually got it. And then it gets decided by someone else rather than the clubs of whether they should play it or not.
Yeah, you're right, Billy. And also, they're terrified of congestion, fixture congestion, because there's the Euros to play in the summer, and they don't want a situation where people are playing every other day, kind of thing. You know, that's obviously. So they're just trying to put in as many games as possible, and they're just there's so many moving parts to this. Obviously, this hasn't happened in our lifetime, so they actually don't know what they're doing. So they're just trying to cobble together a season, you know, and
Yeah.
how are they going to
cancel
the? They can't cancel the international because the Euros are in. They need match practice,
And they also need qualification. Okay. What the heck?
Nah, I don't know. I just think obviously there's finances involved here, and there's prestige, there's cachet, I just don't think. Yeah, exactly. So I think they could have. In all honesty, I agree with. I agree with you. In all honesty, they could have shortened the season.
Yeah, I have.
Yeah,
No, I was aware of it before as well. The
yeah, no,
Media Pro company, that it was a shady deal to begin with. €224 million.
how was it a shady deal, Deep, the one in France? Because the Spanish company took it, right?
Yeah, Media Pro is a relatively new company.
Right.
And they didn't have the necessary fundings to provide as evidence to begin with when they tried to do a similar deal with Seria a year or two ago.
Let him finish, Tris. Let him finish.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah. They failed to do an even bigger money deal with Seria because Seria did the due diligence. They looked behind the company whether they can keep up the promises they're making, and then Seria pulled out of the deal and went with a cheaper broadcast deal for them. And Liga thought they saw money and they just ran, and that is what happened.
See, the irony is that the French league is ripe for picking for players, and nobody can afford to buy them because of the pandemic. It's crazy. There's some great players that could come. You could transfer, but nobody can afford them. It was Lille. It was Lille.
Yeah,
and that's why everybody's thinking that's why Sven Botman was coming to Liverpool because they're in such financial problems
and Renato Sanchez as well.
Right, guys. So let's take a vote on this. What's your opinion on should football be cancelled in the pandemic? Yay or nay, Billy?
Nay, it should not be cancelled. No, I think it's doing too much good.
Okay, mate. Deep?
Nay, but you can manage it better.
Okay. Trish? All right. Okay, I think I'm the only one that's that says yes. All right. Okay. Exactly. Yeah. All right then. All right. Let's move on. All right. Let's move it on. Okay. Let's get this out of the way. Let's discuss Liverpool's blip and United's resurgence. I'm not sure quite how it happened, but there you go. Deep, the floor is yours.
We're top. We're facing the defending champions. They have we're playing an away game. We have a very good away record. They have a not so enviable home record of 64, 65 games unbeaten. Now, I'm only gonna say we're gonna challenge for the league if we can break that record. If we can beat you at your home, then only we're gonna talk about Manchester United being top, because right now we're not completely there. I'm not confident, but let's see. Let's beat the mighty Liverpool. Let's knock them off of their perch once again, and then we're gonna talk. Yeah, I've seen everybody say, "Oh, United have won the league." Every opposition fan is saying, "Oh, their fan is insufferable." But I've not seen a single Manchester United supporter who has outright said we're top of the league, we're winning the league. Everybody has Man City as favorites, and everybody is like, we still have to play Liverpool at Anfield. It's a tough game. If we can get a positive result, then maybe we can start believing. I don't think there's anyone that is truly believing we can do something. I don't think there is anyone. Yeah, but I don't know what media will follow. Yeah, they're fickle.
I don't think anyone can say that
I
they're going to
can't.
win the league at this stage because everyone knows it's up in the air and there's so many games getting played and so many injuries. You've only got to look at Liverpool for that. There's so many injuries to play that teams are getting. Unless you've got a strong squad, you're going to find it difficult, and that's the problem with Liverpool. The squad is not strong enough. Oh, there we go again. Yeah, Bill Chestnut. No, but that's the problem that I think. Everyone's getting injuries. And to be fair to United, they've got the strongest squad of players in the league.
Oh,
As much as
level.
people don't want to admit it, people don't want to admit it, they have got the strongest squad. You look at their bench. Their bench is full of quality players. And that's why I think they've got as good a chance as anyone of winning the league, because of the bench. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Totally.
Cavani. In my opinion, Cavani and Bruno have been the catalyst for this renaissance. Cavani looks like such a goal threat in the box and just exudes kind of swag. You know what I mean? He just, like you're saying, Tris, you don't have that time to train, etc. But he brings all that worldly footballing experience onto the pitch. And every time the ball goes into the box, he's there or thereabouts, and he looks like he's going to put the ball in the back of the net. And that's just, and again with Bruno as well, he's got somebody that he's got that work ethic, you know, that professionality. And I think, you know, and listen, I'm just going to put this out there. Coupled with our injuries, United have got back in a position to on top, you know. And listen, if we don't get those injuries, I think we not walk this league. I think we win this league, but I'm not so sure now.
But is that an indictment on Liverpool for not having the strongest squad? I mean, of money or whatever, yeah. But they haven't got the strongest squad. The lads you've got in the back, at the back now, Phillips and the other guy, they're not quality players who you can bring into a side and hope to win things with. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If Liverpool had the money and had the wherewithal to have a stronger backup They never replaced Lovren, did they? You know, a quality player to come in when things get bad. Then Liverpool haven't got that. Yeah, but that's the consequence, Chris. Because, yeah. And
There's two. There's there's 2 points here, right? Highlighting on what you guys are saying, right? We're playing one of the best holding midfielders on the planet in central defence. Of course, that's going to take away from your midfield because what Fabinho gives us, nobody gives us in that midfield. Number two, we've also got to appreciate FSG aren't money bag owners. They do everything to the minute detail financially. They're not going to buy a player if he's not or if he's surplus or he's not necessary. And you're right, Billy. We did not replace Dejan Lovren, and we should have done. But nobody could foresee this injury crisis. But you know, I just think they're a little. I just think they need to, and we'll get onto this later. But they need to just come out and deliver a signing in January for us. Not a signing as in a transfer, but at least a loan signing. Because if we go, and again, I won't get on my high horse about this, because another 2 or 3 weeks, we're in serious danger of losing this league in January or February. But I hear what you guys are saying. What? How much? How much? To go into your personal funds. I mean, it's the billionaires. I mean, you can't get, and they'll get it back, and they'll get it back. It's not as if it's. Of course they will when they sell. When what you what? It's not what enough.
But it's got to be an investment. It's got to be an investment in players because unless you stay at the top, if you start going down, you will continue going down. And what's happening with Liverpool, in my opinion, it's only my opinion, is that they've got to strengthen and they've got to buy a couple of players. They might have to put the club in hock, but what they've got to do is compete and have players to compete. And at the moment, because of injuries, of course, they're not competitive. The last 3 games have been
absolutely awful. Everton, I agree with you. Billy, I agree with you. I wholeheartedly agree with you. I mean, listen, between them, Henry, Gordon, and the other guy, right? What's his name? The owner. What's his name? I can't remember. Anyway, between them, you telling me they haven't got £2 million to put into Liverpool as a personal donation, as a personal gift, a gratuity, to loan a player till the end of the season? That'll cover somebody's wages and till the end of the season, and a loan fee.
You'd think so.
Exactly. I mean, well, yeah, but they're billionaires. They're billionaires, not millionaires, billionaires. I mean, our club we're going to lose the Premiership over one player. Surely it's worth dipping it into your pockets, or I don't know, into a business account or a sum account and paying and getting a player in. It's not. It's not like it's not.
I get that.
It's not. It's one player. It's not a team. It's not. You are not going to put. You are not going to put Liverpool. You are not going to put Liverpool FC. You are not going to put Liverpool FC's financial future at risk if you sign one player for the end to the end of the season on loan. Because we're not that. We can't be.
Who
We
are you
can't be
going to
that
sign on
financially.
loan?
I don't know. How do I know that?
Then why are you arguing, mate?
What do you mean? How have you proved your point there by saying exactly? There's millions of defenders out there in Europe, in South America that I don't know about. I don't know. Yeah, the league.
Yeah, but shouldn't that have been done 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, when they knew they had the problems? Shouldn't that have been done?
I have 2 suggestions actually for you guys, defenders.
Go on,
Phil Jones, Marcus Rojo. 2 in 1.
Listen, guys. Listen, you're trying to tell me, Tristan, that the future of Liverpool FC will be is compromised on one loan signing for 6 months. Then they're not the owners for us, because if people are what? So how comes other clubs are making signings then? You're telling me there's going to be 0 signings in January?
Wait.
You're telling me okay. I'm hearing what you're saying. You're telling me there's not one player in the world who's better than Reece Williams and Nat Phillips. You're telling it as a lone player. I don't believe that. I'm not asking about Chelsea. I'm going to like say go to the Argentinian league.
Wait, listen, I'll tell you. Wait, listen.
I don't know, but there's got to be some that are better than the incumbents. That we get. I mean,
Wait, Dude, you're very right in saying there are tons of players better than Reece Williams or Nat Phillips. But do you think the selling club are gonna say, "Oh, Liverpool are in a crisis, so let's give them these players for nothing"?
Deep,
you seem to forget, mate. You seem to forget that Liverpool are in this situation because they've been running on the financial edge.
Right.
That is why.
Okay.
That is why one gamble too many is going to cost you maybe. And you're saying it's not gonna cost you. Let's say you spend 15 million on somebody and you end up finishing 4th, just for example. And maybe let's say next season you again don't do much well in the league. Let's say you end out of Champions League for a season.
Right.
That is a lot of money lost. Let's say you end up breaching FIFA fair play regulations. You're gonna be banned from Europe.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying to you. Deep. This is my point. I don't
listen. Let me finish. If you end up risking your future funds for a player and it doesn't work out, then it's gonna have an even longer implication than finishing 4th instead of 2nd this year.
Right, can I put the shoe on the other foot there? Can I just say, if Liverpool don't invest in a player to get Champions League and they miss out this season for Champions League, that's going to cost more money than actually buying a player.
Yeah, but the player you're buying isn't going to guarantee you upturn in fortunes right now, because the issue that Liverpool have is their 2 main centre backs, Virgil van Dijk and Joe Gomez, we can write them off for this season. Even if they can gain fitness, they're not going to be in their normal level. The third guy you have is Joel Matip, who has a fitness record that can match Phil Jones's record, that can match Marcus Rojo's record.
Correct. But Deeps, I don't believe, this is my point, I don't believe we're at that edge. I just believe that they're not just going to, we're not at that tipping point. I just don't think we are. What, a loan signing? One loan signing for 6 months will put us over the edge.
But that is the issue. You're not gonna get.
How do you know? How do you know?
Who is?
It's not.
Because you cannot name a single guy.
Why can't we go to? Why we can go to Brazil, Argentina, to Colombia? There's hundreds of places we can get.
Wait.
All right, somewhere in Europe.
There's another issue. There's another issue with signing South Americans. If you go to our site, you're gonna see we pulled out of Moises Caicedo because they have hundreds of intermediaries and everybody. Atlanta United of MLS, they got ripped off by someone claiming to be representative. Right now, the chances of getting scammed is bigger than the chances of getting a decent player that can guarantee you an upturn in fortune. And then again, if you're bringing someone from South America, what about the culture shock?
Forget the culture shock. We just need him for 6 months.
What if it takes him more than 6 months to settle, like it took Fabinho, who had been in Europe for maybe 6 years, 7 years before coming here? Don't be so naive, mate.
I would rather take. That you take a risk. You at least you have some kind of assurance. But Deeps, what are the defenders like in Nepal? Get us one of them. I just don't think that we're. Yeah, I just don't think we're on the edge of the precipice like you guys are saying. I think there's a loan signing out to do. Yeah, but what's he going to do? No. I don't think so. Yes, I agree. I agree, then. But there's still going to be tons of activity going on this month, and I can't believe we're not going to be part of it. Anyway, let's talk about the fact that Man United might be 6 points ahead of Liverpool Sunday evening, and we'll lose our 3-season unbeaten run to Man United at home.
Don't get my hopes up.
That means nothing. That means nothing in this league the way it's at the moment. If Liverpool get beat, it does not put them out the race, and it doesn't put Man United in the title winners.
Billy, being 6 points ahead of Liverpool might not mean that much, but breaking their unbeaten record, that means a lot for me.
It might do to you.
I was liking him as well.
Anybody else?
No, for me as a Manchester United supporter, it means a lot to be breaking them. And I personally believe that if we actually can beat them, then it will essentially mean Liverpool won't be winning the league this year.
You don't think that's going to happen, though, do you? You know that's not going to happen.
I don't believe, but I do believe there is a chance that we might win. I don't expect us to win, but there is a chance. And if we can win, then the chances of Liverpool winning the league go down very, very, very low.
I don't think it's going to change anything. I don't think whatever happens on the match between Man United and Liverpool does not decide nothing at this stage. Absolutely nothing.
No, but I believe that game can decide whether Liverpool are going to challenge for the title or not.
They'll be there. Believe me, they will be there. Man United will be there. The two of them will be up there.
Hope so.
Man City will be there.
Yeah, City are looking a good start. Yeah.
They've been lucky today. They've been lucky.
What was the score?
1-0.
When did they score? What part? What?
Sorry?
Is it over? Is the game over?
It's over. Yeah, it's over. 1-0.
All right.
Did they score early or did they score late?
44th minute.
Okay.
Just before.
Who did they play?
Yeah. Brighton.
Brighton they were playing.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, Brighton are going to get sucked into that relegation.
Yeah.
The thing is, City didn't score with their best chance. They missed some of their better chances, but they ended up winning.
Yeah, yeah. So, Deeps, let me ask you. You've got, your. I don't know if you knew this, but your points per game average is better than anybody else. 2.12 points per game. That's higher than everyone else in the league. The other thing I was going to ask you. Go on, mate. Let me just finish this point, Tris. The other thing I was going to ask you, mate, is what team would you have out for Saturday if you were Ollie?
If I'm Oli, I would say De Gea in goal, Wan-Bissaka, Bailly, Maguire, and left back. I'm really torn because Shaw is slightly better defensively, Telles is slightly better offensively. Left back is a toss-up. I think Ole is probably gonna go with Shaw if everybody is fit. And then midfield is the biggest conundrum because we have 5 midfielders from whom you can never be sure who is playing and who isn't. I think Ole is very likely to go with Fred and McTominay, but Pogba had a decent game last night. And Bruno is a given. Rashford, Martial was showing little injuries, signs of little injuries. So Cavani and I don't know who plays. Maybe even Pogba plays slightly to the left and Rash plays from the right. I don't think Greenwood is going to start. It's not the team I would have, but I think that is a very likely 11.
That's still a strong 11.
Yeah, but and like Billy said, right now we have a very strong squad.
Yeah, you do.
I hope that Rashford doesn't come up against Trent because he's had the beating of him the last. He's had good games against Trent recently, and Trent's not exactly match fit at the moment.
Yeah, but I don't know. I have a suspicion Pogba might play to the left and Rash from the right.
I fancy. Go on, Belly. Sorry, did you want to say something, mate?
No. Go on.
Tristan? Oh, right. Okay, sorry. I thought I heard noises. Yeah, I just feel that. So our team. I mean, what do you think about our team, Tristan? I think that it's easy, really. It's the only thing is the midfield. Does he play Shaq? Does he play Henderson, Thiago, Junior midfield? Does Henderson go into the back? I mean, I feel that Matip and Fab will be the centre back pairing because I think Fab might make it. Sorry, I think Matip might make it. He might be pass his fitness test. So, what midfield would you go for? I think he makes it. To be honest, from what I gather, I think he makes it, but he may not. But what would your team be?
Yeah, Matip.
I think.
Yeah, Matip is like Bailly. Matip is like Bailly. You cannot be sure whether he finishes the game or not. It doesn't matter how good or bad he is. Just like with Bailly. Our attackers didn't have great game yesterday against Burnley. It was just our defenders and midfielders were efficient with the ball. They weren't even excellent. Like you said, Burnley weren't asking many questions.
So
And by the way, why was Maguire's goal ruled out?
Yeah, that was wrong.
That the same thing happened maybe 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 times in the game before and after that.
No, you're right, Church. You're right. It's just a challenge. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and I think if Maguire doesn't touch him, then the chances of him landing on the player is even bigger. What is a bigger risk? Yeah,
Yeah.
what I'm saying is if Maguire doesn't use his hands and let's say he puts his hands behind him, firstly he's not gonna get the same leap. And secondly, when he falls down he will be in less control of himself and probably going to collide with the player, which is even more dangerous. Ah,
No, it shouldn't have. No.
and also with the sore yellow card, then me not getting his no, but the issue.
It was a
No,
red for me. I've got to be honest with you.
no, but I was under the impression that VR doesn't give yellow cards. It's not for yellow card fouls. No, but listen,
Yeah.
yeah, but listen, my issue isn't that the Burnley player didn't get sent out. My issue is why was the yellow card taken back? Because there was a foul. No, but what I'm saying is no. Listen. So what you're saying is if one player tackles another, it's a foul. The referee. Listen. Yeah, but yeah, that is the same argument we're having. It shouldn't be like that. You shouldn't be allowed to do whatever you want just because there was a foul once again. Yeah, I just don't agree with the system. That is the thing. Yeah. Okay. It works like that because their math is as good as Abid's.
Guys, I think it'd be remiss of us at this point not to mention what a job Ole's doing. He's got United at the top of the league, and he's taken some massive, massive slack from me for sure, and a lot of other people. And I just think, yeah, but you can't just say it's Darren Fletcher that has done that. I mean, he's taken some decisions, so let's be a bit magnanimous. Let's be a bit gracious. Yeah,
No, but the thing is, it doesn't matter who is doing it. He is the guy. Just like saying, "Oh, it was Rene Muhlenstein or it was Carlos Perez."
Yeah.
No, listen. The thing is, he is the manager. He is the manager. If you're gonna slate him for not being good enough, not getting the results, then you have to give him some sort of praise when you see.
No,
Listening to someone is also some kind of responsibility, accountability. Come on, if Darren Fletcher is saying this isn't working, we should try this, or Ole is saying I don't think we're doing it right. Darren, come and help. It's at
yeah, but
listen. I'll tell you a proverb. I will tell you a proverb that goes around here. Whether a watermelon whether a watermelon falls on the knife or the knife falls on the watermelon is getting cut. It doesn't matter how it happens.
Love that. You don't. What? Why are you questioning the proverb? I don't get it. It's such a beautiful thing, and you just question the proverb. Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did. Listen, when Klopp does everything, when Klopp does things amazing, it might be the Dutch fella that has made the decision, but you don't know. So you don't know. It's the collective. It's the collective. Yes, it's the collective. Yeah. Hey, didn't you just turn around and said it was just Darren Fletcher and nothing to do with Ole?
Yeah, you
Yeah,
did.
you did. I've got two witnesses. I've got two fucking witnesses. Rubbish. I've got two witnesses. I heard you say it. Bollox. Yes.
No, but yeah, but that was one of the conversation we had over on the side. That Ole is part of the problem. He's not the whole problem. We need someone else in the coaching staff. That was one of the points which was making even. I think it was even before the start of the season. That was one of the points we were discussing.
Yeah.
The coaching staff as a whole isn't inspiring. We need some help. It doesn't matter where it comes from.
But at the end of the day, the buck stops at Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
And whatever happens, it falls on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. You know, no one's going to say sack Darren Fletcher, are they? Because if they're doing bad or Wheeler or whatever, it's all down to Ole in the end because he's the man where the buck stops.
Yep, I agree, mate. Totally agree. And that's why we got to give him and his team props.
Yeah, I can't.
And the coaching staff, yeah. Yep. Just good. Are you in a corner so can you
He's living in
Corner
denial.
sucking your thumb. He's in the corner sucking his thumb. Are you sulking, Tristan? All right. Oh, yeah.
Where it's come from? If he never appointed him, who appointed him, Chris? All right. All right, I just didn't know who appointed him, that's all. You know, he's the man. The buck stops with him, and I think they're doing very well at the moment. The top of the league. They're in the cups, in the two cups. So give the man a bit of praise. He's going all right.
Fair enough. Tristan, I wanted to ask you a question specifically. Do you think this is a blip, or do you think this is a decline? And the other thing is, how do we get more out of Salah, Mane, and Bobby? Right. Right. I think that what it is that I just specifically highlighting what you just said there, right? I think from my point of view, anyway, I'm owning this, and I think I speak for Liverpool fans. We've had such a barren 30 years because those Mancs have put us through the mire for so long. And then when we do get a bit of success, and it's not just a bit of success, we're winning everything, and with ease. And then we get 2, 3 seasons of that, and then when it kind of declines, it's like panic stations. Like we can't handle it anymore because we're thinking it's going to go back to the 30 years of hurt again. So do you get what I'm saying? So yeah, 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 right, yeah, but But can't we work? But listening to what you're saying, yeah, okay, okay. So I hear what you're saying, but that okay. You're saying they need to play together, whatever. But they can't. They go back on muscle memory. They know what each other's runs are, what movements they're going to make. Can't they just fall back on that a bit of muscle memory? I right. Gotcha. Yeah, yeah. Training. Yeah, yeah. And- yeah. Right. Because the right hand side of our go on, mate. Go on. Uh, Yeah, they're not playing those triangles on the fullback areas anymore. It's just blowing, throwing crosses in for crosses' sake.
I, I think part of it with Liverpool is that the fullbacks are having to defend more to cover the lack of quality defending in the middle and in midfield, because Fabinho used to do great work in midfield. Now he's at the back. I don't think you've got someone like that who's going to put the shift in. So the fullbacks are having to hang back and be more defensive than what they are usually. They're usually an attacking force, and I think they're more defensive now, Liverpool's midfield. Probably because of injuries.
What, Tristan? No cover. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, you're right. Jota's been a massive loss in that regard. Uh,
Do you think the Ox is a problem? Because when he first come to Liverpool, I know he got a bad injury, but before the injury, I thought he was a really good player for Liverpool. But since his injury and his comeback, I don't know why. I don't know whether he's back to full fitness or whatever, but he just hasn't had the effect on games at all, has he, really?
I think he's always.
No, he's played
Yeah,
a few off the
it
bench,
is.
hasn't he? And
I
even when
think
he's come on, he hasn't affected the game at all.
I think the problem with the Ox is he's always playing catch up, and it's because of his injuries. So he's always playing catch up, and then he's not fully fit, and then he's susceptible to getting injured again, which he invariably does. So it's just always that ever decreasing circle going on with him, and I really feel that I think his time's done at Liverpool. I really do. Yeah.
It's just been a bit of a disappointment for me. Yeah, Thiago's quality. He's absolute quality.
If they
Nice.
He just needs to stay fit. I just think that, yeah.
There's another point you guys are missing, I think. I think Liverpool are suffering from the fact that they are the defending champions, so every team wants to perform better against you. It's playing the team that finished second isn't as big of an occasion as playing the defending champions is. That's also a factor.
A given, yeah. Yeah.
No, but everything we've already discussed, the injuries, having to reshuffle because of the injuries, losing qualities from one area of the field, and everything, and the pandemic, everything just makes this defending the title is difficult thing even bigger because you have every other factors, and on top of that, everybody just gives that extra 1% against the defending champions.
And the other thing is, cool, mate. Oh, okay, thanks, mate. Yeah, I think the other fact, well, not a fact, a supposition is that we didn't realise how important fans were to us, because they give us that, they are the 12th man, and those draws we've had probably would have been wins had it would have been, most of them would have been wins had it been for the fans being there. So we missed them a heck of a lot because there's no accountability.
I think that goes for a lot of clubs as well. You know, I don't think it's just Liverpool.
Yeah.
I think that goes for a lot of clubs. I don't think that's just.
Yeah, exactly. Palace going to Selhurst Park was a difficult game, but now it's just another match.
Yeah.
It swings and roundabouts. Fans, everybody's missing fans.
Go, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would even argue United. I would even argue Man United. No, our crowd is very nervous. Once we just haven't had the belief.
Prawn sandwiches, yeah. Prawn sandwich brigade around.
Yeah, but even if you're using the joke, no. Even if you are saying or using the joke that they are more casual and everything, they cannot give you that extra motivation when you're not.
Only yanking your chain there.
It affects every team. Yeah, it affects every team. Certain teams are affected slightly more.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Dortmund.
Yeah. Yeah.
Guys, should we? I think
Yeah, Favre is gone.
this is a good time
They just
go on.
beat Leipzig. They just beat Leipzig 4 days ago. So they're again back in it. He's a caretaker manager. They're probably gonna go after Marco Rosa. And
Guys,
and Bayern lost to Mönchengladbach.
Guys, should we move on to talk about Arsenal's dazzling form of late, which has taken them to a dizzying 11th place in the table, and Everton, who are now a point behind Liverpool. Have we really been that bad?
Yeah. Yeah, is the answer to that.
No, but Bill, isn't it quite worrying that even after discussing so many problems with Liverpool and everything, you guys are still behind them? That's worrying.
Billy?
It does, yeah.
Billy, take it away, my friend. Why are you fourth? That's the whole world is asking that question. Not
because
why or
you've got one of the best managers in the world, that's why. And we buy players. But Everton are doing okay.
So his plan was to organise a pandemic and him get a Champions League spot.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. He is lazy. He is like I couldn't agree more. He is like, but he has got quality, and I'd sooner come off the bench or give him a half. I don't think he can play a full game, but he has got quality when he's on the ball. But you've got to have players running for him, and at the moment, without Alan, he's not going to shine at all because Alan gives him the space, he gives us the forward momentum, and he makes a massive difference towards Alan. And to be honest with you, Tom Davis and even Gomez 2 points, they haven't got the legs to carry them through games like Alan's got. And he's been a big miss for us. Although, to be fair to us yesterday, he played really well and deserved to beat Wolves.
Who's your
Yeah, he's out, he's out. He's got a price trade. Well, we set up totally different. We set up without a forward yesterday, which is a false 9, and Sigurdsson was false 9. What's that all about? And he was awful. He was absolutely awful. But the team played well as a unit, and we played very, very decent football actually yesterday. And good luck to him. Yeah, I know it is, yeah. He's been awful for a long time. But yeah, he's the captain of the club when Coleman's not playing.
Oh, so come on.
Where you get that from, I don't know.
It just reinforces my point. I was just gonna say Sigurdsson is like your Maguire. You have to play him because of his price.
Yeah.
And you have to make him captain because of his price now. Oh, come on.
Yeah.
No?
You know,
He plays anyway, doesn't he?
Sigurdsson is still the top. No, but what I'm saying, Sigurdsson, because he cost 50, you're not. He's also earning a lot of money. You're not gonna sell him that easily, so you have to use him if there is an opportunity. He's in the first choice player. I know that. I'm aware of that, but his price is kind of a sticking point when you.
No, he was
cost
Yeah, but
50.
He's 50.
The record signing.
Yeah, 45
yeah,
million.
you know what, Deep?
Yeah.
Deep, you see what? Deep, so what you're saying is you don't.
Wow. I thought you paid more than that. Well, because it's Everton and Everton had money. That's why. But to be fair, we've made a couple of good signings as well. And since Ancelotti's been there, we bought Alan and Decore, who've been very good. James was a free, so he doesn't really count. I know he's got wages to pay. But the young lad, Ben Godfrey, he bought, looks a hell of a player, to be fair. And Tris did say that from the start, that I wasn't sure on him, but Tris said that he was going to be a good player, this lad. And he's really shown. He's got quality. He has got quality. So Ancelotti hasn't spent that much money, to be fair to him.
But he's made the right signings.
Yeah, well, Pickford was in yesterday, and he made a couple of good saves, but he made a couple of errors as well. For me, I wouldn't have him in the side, but I'm not the manager, so I don't really get a say in that. But I wouldn't. He's due back any time now, but he'll be back. He's back training, but he's not up to speed yet, and it's going to be another couple of months, do you reckon, before he's back. You're a bleeding jinx.
Who you? Tristan, who did you say? Who did you ask about?
Kabaman, yeah.
Do you know what I thought you said? I thought you said, "How's the cabinet?" And I was thinking, nothing. I still empty. I thought you said, I'm still thinking empty. Nothing. Nothing's changed. It's still empty. I thought you said cabinet. I swear to God, I thought you said cabinet. I thought you were winding him up. I thought, no, nothing's still empty.
I'm going to be fair now. It's the cabinets when he gets back. Yeah. He only played a game and a half for us, and
like Thiago.
Yeah. Well, a lot longer than that, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Been off over the season.
You think you can sustain it, Billy?
No.
The epic
Personally, no. No, not top 4. No, top 6. I'm looking at realistically. I think there's there's teams who are going to come to the fore more, as it goes on. We need a couple of more players. But if we get a couple of players, we've got a chance of getting top four, but I think it's an outside chance. That's my personal opinion.
You want to get Darren Fletcher as a coach, mate?
You're right.
Nice one.
All right, guys, let's talk about...
Who's what?
Oh, yeah, good one, yeah. The missus is not there today.
David, it is, yeah.
Right.
If you looked at them yesterday, you'd think they were very fit. Yeah, except exceptions like, to be honest with you, I know it sounds wrong picking on them, but Hammers doesn't look fit. He might just be lazy, and Sigurdsson the same, very one-paced, and also Gomez is one-paced. But the rest of them are looking really sharp. I think they're doing okay. Yeah, very much so, Trips. He's got attributes. He's good on the ball, but he does lose the ball, and he hasn't got the pace to get back and reclaim it. And that's been the problem with him. Like, yeah, he's never been the quickest, but he's got good feet. And he shields the ball really well. But you can see he's lost that half a yard of pace, and he needs that because he's not the quickest anyway.
Deeps, sorry guys, I just wanted to ask Deeps' opinion about Fosu Mensah getting away from the club. How do you feel about that?
No, Leverkusen. I'm happy for the lad. I don't like I don't like players who are happy to just play 10 minutes here and then 15 minutes 2 months later. If he wants game time, we have to give him that opportunity. He's clearly not ready for United. I'm so sad that he got very unlucky with injuries when he went out on loan to gain sharpness, to mature as a player. He got injured on one of his loan spells, and then when he went to Palace, Wan-Bissaka essentially just made right back his own position. He didn't get enough chances. I'm just happy that the lad is gonna hopefully get more chances to play, and he's gone to a team that is on the up. So let's best of luck to the lad.
When you say he wasn't ready, do you mean he's not good enough, or he's not ready he's good enough but not ready for first team, for Man United first team?
Before his injury, he was not ready to be a Manchester United starter week in, week out.
Okay.
Then he went out on loan and got injured.
Yeah.
Don't get me started on Maguire.
All right, mate, I won't. Yeah.
No, the thing is, Fosu Mensah signed for us when he was, I think, 13, 14. He signed for us under 16. And from the moment he arrived, the club had high hopes for him. He was seen as one for the future. And ever since that injury, he has struggled for game time. He has struggled to impress, and he has struggled to show his qualities that he once threatened to have. I just hope the lad gets to play, and hopefully we have a buyback or a sell-on clause, because there is a ton of potential in the lad.
He's 1.8 million you sold him for.
Yeah, something around that. But I like Leverkusen. I like the move. They have a Dutch coach. Hopefully he can settle in and perform. He still has time. He's only 23. So.
Appreciate that, buddy. Thank you. Billy, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to change the subject and digress. I just remembered about Fosu Mensah because we were talking about...
That's okay. That's not a problem.
Are you? Is there anything you want to add to about Everton?
No, mate. We're just going along on our merry way. Let them talk about the big six, and just let us get on with our game and see what comes in the next couple of months.
Fair enough, mate. Should we do Arsenal now? Because they've had a bit of a renaissance.
Yeah,
they picked up. Here too.
They're doing okay. Well, they just started playing. They were out to 4. All the team looked disjointed, and now they seem to have got a bit of momentum. And what have they gone? 3-4 games, 4 wins on the bounce. They're doing well. We've always known they've got decent players there, but they just weren't performing. And something's turned around for them. I don't quite know what it is, but they turned around, and good luck to them.
I bet they're a point behind us as well.
they're a load of points behind us, aren't they?
Tristan, Deep, why are they? What's the reason for their resurgence? So, does that make Arteta the right manager for the job, or still he's over his head?
Yeah, even now, you cannot say for sure, because when all the senior players are available, firstly, does he go back to them? Secondly, do the performances suffer? Is it?
The same thing.
Same thing. Arteta did he just stumble upon this formula?
Right.
Yeah, that is what we're saying.
See, I think you've got the same problem with Frank Lampard. They're inexperienced managers, and people are expecting miracles from them in the first season, and it doesn't work like that. You've got to get a system, you've got to build a system, you've got to build players into that system. But people, microwave supporters, who are expecting this instant, a manager comes in and everything's going to be rosy in the garden. It just isn't like that. And that's why we've got to give people time. And you can't just say after 6 months or 8 months in the job, and then they're going through a sticky patch, oh, get rid of him, he's hopeless, he's terrible. Give them a bit of time and then decide. I think we're too quick to judge players in a short period of time.
No, but Billy, is Manchester United or Arsenal or Chelsea a job for a young, completely inexperienced manager to be learning on? I don't think so. I think the issue is in the appointment.
Yeah, I can see that. But once they've made the appointment, if you're going to make that appointment, give them some time. Don't just be saying, we want instant success. It doesn't work like that. If you're going to appoint a new coach, someone who hasn't done the job before, like Lampard and like Arteta, give him a chance. Get him a chance to buy his own team. They're playing with other people's players and they're stuck with them because of the contracts and the money they're on. But you've got to give them time, or don't appoint them at all. That's what I'm saying anyway.
Well, Lampard is getting help now. Chelsea are bringing in Avram Grant.
Yeah, which is a good idea, isn't it? Bring experienced players, people in your back room staff who are going to help you out. And that's what it's all about. But you can't just throw people on the scrap heap because they've had a bad run of results. Everyone's going to have a bad run of results.
Even the best manager, Carlos, struggled for weeks.
Yeah. He did, yeah. He's had a little bit of a bad spell. Well, that happens in football, doesn't it?
Yeah, and even the FIFA best coach, Klopp, is throwing his toys out of his pram now.
Yeah, absolutely he is, yeah. Jose Klopp. He's gone miserable, hasn't he?
He's going to combust that fellow one.
He's actually turning into the Jose we had.
Yeah, he was, yeah. He is, yeah.
With talent, though.
He has got talent. And he's got no need to be this miserable sod. But I still like him as a manager. It's just that he's going through a bad patch and he's not handling it great, in my opinion.
Habit. Ravel Morrison had more talent than most of the United youth products. He's doing nothing. Talent doesn't mean everything. Come on.
No, it doesn't. No.
And you cannot say Jose didn't have talent.
Yeah.
I just think that Jose's star has been on the decline for a long time, and I think that this is an anomaly with Spurs. I think if he goes back to Milan or Madrid, I don't think he is as successful as he was. I'm sorry, I just don't think that. Go on, man.
Because it's Pep. Because it's Pep. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's got a terrible demeanour, though, hasn't he, about him? And he's not someone who can take to. Like, when he first came, I thought he was a breath of fresh air. But he turned into this monster who thought he was better than what he actually was, and thought he was the biggest name at the club rather than focus on the players. It was all about Jose, and that's when he seemed to go downhill for me. Yeah, absolutely, he did, Trish, yeah.
He is soaring on that topic, though.
Yeah. The thing for Jose is he didn't die a hero, so now he's becoming the villain.
Yeah.
Wow. Check that out. Philosophy, I tell you. Now, where did this guy?
Yeah.
Where did this guy come from?
No, that's.
Oh my God!
I think we've got the Dalai Lama. It's not deep, it's the Dalai Lama we got.
He's gonna start talking about existentialism in a minute. Oh my God! Keep it simple, mate. Dumb it down. This is too. Yeah. We've got two Scousers and a Londoner. That shit don't work here, mate. It's gone way over our heads. Yeah. And what colour sauce to put on our egg and chips? Either a red one or a brown one. That's the kind of highbrow combination you get here, mate. Right, Deep, sorry, finish what you were saying.
Yeah,
but in English, like proper, like so we can understand it. Deep?
No, I finished. I finished. The club is slowly becoming like Jose, grumpy. The world is against us.
Yeah.
We didn't do anything wrong. The opponent was doing this, that. The referee is against us. Sometimes it's not because the broadcasters tried to shaft you. It's because the opponent just hung in there. Sometimes it's as simple as that.
I think also a lot to Klopp's frustration is at his own team as well. And knowing that we can play much better than the performances we're putting out. And I think he's frustrated. He's not covering himself with any glory, but I don't think he's turning into any kind of Jose at all. Or bitter or twisted in any way, shape or form.
He isn't, but you've got to give him a bit of stick, haven't you? Because he's been so good up to now, so you've got to give him a bit of stick.
I hear you.
You cannot judge Klopp and Arteta with the same stick. Because you know more about Klopp. Klopp is above this. We've seen, like, Klopp isn't someone who just came into Liverpool last year. We've seen him actually be with Liverpool when Liverpool were 5th, 6th best. He wasn't like this back then.
No,
now you're top. Enjoy it, mate.
Yeah, I think Deep's he's also jockeying for position in the personalities that are the managerial Premiership managerial personalities. There's a lot of people there, there's a lot of big personalities in this league. So he's also got to make a stand as well. He can't be seen as a shrinking violet.
No, I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you don't have to be annoying. You don't have to be annoying. No, but the issue with 5 subs. Listen. Okay. Yeah, Moyes seems to have changed as a manager, not just for the 5 substitute rule. As a manager, he seems to have.
He's winning games. He's winning games. Yeah, he's winning games. Billy will tell you all about that, won't you, Billy?
I never seen him win any games.
No, but
yeah. He used to do it all the time. I think he's a terrible manager, but he's doing all right at West Ham. I think West Ham might suit him because they don't expect much, do they, West Ham? Yeah, absolutely. That's where they went wrong. Ferguson should have just left the club and let them get on with it, whereas I thought that was a massive mistake, letting Fergie pick the next manager. I thought that was a bad mistake, especially with it being him. No, I don't think that. No. I think he just thought. No. It's a bit of a mate of his and all that, yeah. But I'll back you up. If you need any advice, I'll see you through it. And I'll get you the right people and I'll oversee you. And I thought it was a bit of that, like, and jobs for the boys, and I'll look after you. Yeah. And it just didn't work out.
Yeah, even then, Fergie is the same guy who signed Bebe. So we cannot say all of his career and got one decision wrong.
Yeah.
And Veron.
I still like Veron, I thought he was all right.
And also with Moyes,
Yeah.
Veron is like Naby Keita for Klopp. Everybody has them. I don't think it's because Fergie didn't want someone else to overshadow his legacy. I think it's just Fergie is someone who signed Bebe. It's not like he had a flawless career leading up to Moyes. So we cannot just say Fergie did it intentionally. It's just something that went wrong. And I believe Moyes shafted his own career because he didn't want to go on with the transfer strategies and policies that were already in place before his arrival. He didn't want to pursue with the backroom stuff that already existed at the club. He just wanted to do everything on his own accord, and it just didn't work out. David Gill, yeah. I don't think the loss of David Gill was the problem. The issue is we had two guys who were coming into the job at the same time that had no any idea about how to do their jobs, because frankly Everton under Moyes were also Rans and Ed Woodward was a banker, so that was the issue.
You did say banker there, didn't you? Oh, no. It wasn't Cockney Rhyming slang, was it?
No.
Guys, shall we move on to the managerial merry-go-round?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, two managers in the Premiership who are in danger of losing their jobs is Steve Bruce and Chris Wilder. What are your thoughts on these guys? Should they stay or should they go?
Well, for me, Bruce is in big trouble. I don't think he can put a side together. And don't get me wrong, he's under financial constraints from probably the worst owner there's ever been of a football club in Mike Ashley. But he sets up his team so negatively. And one thing about you can say about Newcastle is that the fans expect they haven't had the greatest deal of success over the recent years, but they do want us playing entertaining football, and what he's serving up just isn't worth the carrots, is it? It's really boring stuff. They don't go out to win games, they go out to not get beat, and they're dire to watch, aren't they? They really are.
Really, the thing is he's been... Yeah, but he hasn't. Who's he got as a game changer? Max Sillerman, and he's had COVID. He's been out for a few weeks. There's not many there that can actually change a game or put the ball into the net. I know he's got the Wilson fella up front, but he needs support. So there's not much he can do. His hands are tied to an extent. Well, that was Ashley's signing, wasn't it? He went. Come on, Carroll can't put a ball in there. I mean, yeah. Yeah, but
I think so as well, Trish. They've got no names. They've got no names either, have they? I bet you that most people couldn't name half of the Newcastle players. because they're all non-entities. There's no game changes in it.
Okay, let's try naming the Newcastle players. Go on.
I don't know.
Darlow in goal.
So,
Let's go back four. Right. So
go on.
Darlow in goal. Left back is I'm lost. Centre back is Lascelles and who's the middle other guy? Okay. Apart from Tristan, who can name the Newcastle team?
I can actually.
You've got five long staffs, they got 5 long staffs, the mother and father of the long staff. The grandpa of the long staffs.
Yeah,
That's
their
it.
mother and father on the staff as well. Yeah.
Yeah. But they're a non-entity, right?
The
Yeah,
right
you're
back
right.
is
I mean-
Okay, let's go. Right back. Right back.
All
Yedlin
right. No, it all.
or Manquillo. Midfield. Come on, let's go. Yeah, I named them both. Midfield, let's go.
I said normal people, I didn't mention you and Trish.
Yeah, people that even have a life during a pandemic. You know what I mean? Not you. Yeah, exactly.
No, but listen, Chris. Listen to this. Abid and Billy can't figure out how to join the channel, so
You got a good point there, Pete.
You are so ageist, Tristan. It's unbelievable.
Yes, you're right.
and it's not like Chris is so much younger than you guys. It's like
Yeah, but Chris, me and Billy actually open the front door and walk out of the house sometimes. Tristan, all he does is sit at home and twiddle with technology and rewatch football.
no, but listen, Abid.
He doesn't know there's a pandemic on. Trish, he just
Exactly. There's no doubt.
He's survived for 10 years.
It's fine. His whole life has been a fucking pandemic. Bunkering down. He's been bunkering down for the last 47 years.
The Olympic torch.
Liar.
No, but Chris, listen. Chris doesn't go out because he's so old he cannot even unlock his own door. That's the reason No, you don't like. Oh no. Oh no! Come on. You can bully other people for being older than you, but when the boot is on the other foot, you don't like it. Oh, come on.
Yeah, Tristan. When the shoe is on the other foot. Yeah. You need to have feelings to be hurt. Let's talk about Chris Wilder, lads.
Yeah, made up he got his first win. I like Chris Wilder.
Yeah.
All right.
Good point. Stay or go, Billy?
Go. Absolutely go.
Deeps?
Ashley should go first of all. Ashley is the on problems.
Hey,
Yeah.
listen. Yeah. Why, you do? You do it all the time, Tristan. Why can't Deeps? Yeah, of course it is. Yeah. Yeah, because you're unique, yeah.
But
Deep.
who are Newcastle gonna get if they get rid of Bruce? Because
Even
not
better
many
question.
people,
Well done, dude.
not many people are gonna be happy working under Mr. Mike Ashley. Yeah, and that is why
Yeah,
I'm
but
not
what they
saying he
gonna
should
do?
go because they don't have a better option. They had a better option
Nobody.
in Rafa Benitez and they couldn't keep him there. Or didn't want to keep him there. He forced him
No,
out.
they didn't want to give him any money. He didn't want to spend any money.
No, no,
and
no.
that's why Rafa left.
No, he only wanted to spend money on Joe Linton. I don't know why, but that is why he left, and Benitez didn't want him.
Rafa didn't want Jolinton. Yeah, you're correct. But he Ashley wasn't prepared to give him the sum of money that Rafa wanted. It wasn't a lot of money. Transfer kitty. Right. And
Yeah, Bruce is just happy to be at his boyhood club, his hometown club.
Yeah.
he's making money from it as well. Do you want to use the word obsequious again?
Yeah, that's where it is today, yeah.
We didn't hear it the first 14.
Yeah, he can do the worst, but he cannot spell them.
Yeah. We didn't hear obsequious the past 14 times you used it. No. No, what is Ashley Tristan?
No, he said
What is he? He's obsequious, no?
No, that's Brushy.
Oh, Bruce, okay.
He isn't even listening to us.
I can Google it, mate. Oh yeah, you and Deep should have your own podcast. Well, I can spell wanker. What was I going to say, guys? So, Deep, you still haven't said yes or no to
Bruce.
He should go. He should go.
All right, Tristan. Yeah.
But who will you bring in instead of him? That is the bigger issue.
Darren Fletcher.
He's in China. He's in China.
Yeah, he is in China, yeah.
Yeah, they can go on.
Yeah. I mean, it could be anybody, really, couldn't it? I mean, they're all going to be doing a better job than the Obseekis one.
Yeah.
He can't even say it. He can't pronounce it.
I can't even say the word. Obsequious. That is hard to say. Not for you, Tristan, because you've said it 42 times.
That is why Trish didn't want to do this podcast 2 weeks ago. He needed 2 weeks to study this word.
I wonder what.
When the whole world was in COVID, when the whole world was, they were kind of celebrating Christmas and New Year. Chris was using his computer, his dictionary, everything to learn this word.
He was in a pile of dictionaries, but using it. Oh my god, that is so funny, Dean. Right. Right.
Right, so we're saying Bruce is gone.
Yeah, let's move on to Chris Wilder.
He's had a hard time, and I think he's
still
done.
think he's going to make it. I still think he's going to make it. I really do think this is a catalyst for change, and they're going to stay up.
I don't know whether they'll stay up, because they haven't got a striker. They haven't got a fella who can put the ball in it. That's the problem. And unless you have that, unless you get someone in this window, they're struggling.
The French fella's back soon, isn't he, or is he already back?
But he isn't prolific either.
Yeah, you're right.
No.
But
he's not
ready. He's not ready.
No, he's not. No.
See, Abid, even people who have lived in Europe can struggle when there is a change in scenario.
Yeah. Yeah, but D. Liverpool isn't Europe. No, but there's always that. I don't. Yeah, exactly. We can't go back to that. But we can. But there is no reason for me not to believe anybody coming out of the UK in Europe or somewhere in the other parts of the world can't make a positive impact on our defence if being brought in. I'm sorry, because we just don't need anybody. There is that defence. That half of that defence is so bad that, with Williams that I really do believe that this quality can be bought in at a very, very cheap price for a short period of time and work.
But you cannot name a single person. Let's move on.
No. I can't name. I can't. Yeah, I can't name a single person because I haven't got a encyclopedic knowledge of encyclopedic knowledge of footballers like Michael Edwards has, and his team. You know, because nobody knew that what's it called, Fabinho was going to come in until the day of the signing. So we just don't know. They're keeping it really quiet.
No,
take the bank for Upamenko, and you'll be able to do all right.
Oh, now he cannot say his name.
What's that? Who? Yeah, but he's 42 million in the summer. God knows what it costs now.
And there's another issue. It's a release clause. It's not 42 million you can pay in 5 years. It's 42 million euro upfront or nothing, like Arsenal did with Partey.
Yeah, but that's in the summer as well. It's not now. It doesn't. What was to come or wanted to come. So it's not. I know it's a difficult situation. I really understand that. I get the gravity of the situation, but I just don't think that that there's not somebody out there who can come fill a hole for 6 months and he's going to be really cheap and it's not going to break the bank and make Liverpool go bankrupt. That's my word. I'm sticking to it. Chris Wilder. Billy. Well, Deep's wanted me to name a name.
Yeah.
I panicked.
I think you swapped Accrington's centre half for Bobby Firmino on a straight swap deal. You'd do okay. You wouldn't have lost anything, and also you'd have got a decent centre half. Yeah.
You need to be a bit obsequious, Billy.
I do, yeah.
He's practicing it. He's sneaking the word in so he can practice it more and more. So
Obsequious. Yeah. You say that after a few tequilas, bloody yeah. You'd be saying a different word every time. So, you.
Right, so we done, boys, because I'm going to get my tea and toast now before I go to bed.
Do you have tea and toast every night, Billy?
Absolutely, I do, yeah. It helps me sleep.
So, 1 minute. Chris Wilder, yay or nay, Billy?
Chris Wilder, yeah, let him stay. They're going to go down, but let him stay and get them back up.
Deeps?
Yeah, because Sheffield United had no right to be in the Premier League before, so he deserves the chance to try and bring them back again, even if they get relegated. And I don't think it's a foregone conclusion just now whether they're relegated or not.
Me neither, mate. Me neither. I think they're going to stay up. If they're obsequious enough, they'll stay up.
It's a freaky boat time. That's what it
is. Tristan. The hell was that? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. Right, boys, thanks a lot, and I'll see you on the next one.
Enjoy your tea and toast, Billy.
I won't be too obsequious at all. Thanks, Steve. Nice speaking to you.
Always a pleasure, Billy.
Thanks, Abid. Thanks, Chris. I'll see you on the site, and I'll see you next week, boys. Thanks a lot.
See you next Thursday, lads.
Yeah, cheers. Ta-ra now.
Bye.